Hi, hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me for the first ever Power Hour, all here in the STEM Gal Network. So today, I'm very excited to share that this series, it's truly the strategy and the mindset and the tools that you need to truly achieve the goals and dreams that you think about every day. And maybe you've been thinking for some of this for years, and life has evolved in such a way that now maybe you doubt how you're gonna go about it because you have given in your all. You're known for giving in your all. You're known for truly leading your way in such a smart and efficient way, but then something is just not clicking lately. And you are almost there, but there's something holding on. And I created this series especially for that because we do have, like, I bet you have so much knowledge, you have so many tools under your belt, but this power hour is to create, it's to put things into action, and it's to move the one next step. But I want you to think about this space where it's a space that you come and truly create that version of you that it's living with dreams, goals, and achievements that right now seem kind of far. So, the first thing I wanted to uh, walk you through is the, the 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 path or the milestones that we're going to reach every power hour. So today I'm going to be doing a teaching for, well, today is my first one, so I hope to go fast. Um, and after this teaching, I'm going to do a workshop or exercise that I want you to sit down with. I want you to really um, do that, do the next step that it's going to move you one step closer to this goal. And it's so important. It's so important to give ourselves the time and space to do so. And this is my invitation for you today to do so. And I haven't introduced myself. Sorry about that. My name is Isa Valdez. I am the founder of the STEM Gal Network. And for years, I've been sharing tools and strategies. And lately, I took into coaching individuals. We are ambitious and really smart people that I think sometimes we're under supported because we have achieved so much on our own, and going that extra mile, it's taking a while. So I'm here to support you fully, either through this series, either through other events or classes that I do, either through coaching. Either way, I want you to succeed, and I want you to know that I am here rooting for you to achieve your success. All right. So, to start with this teaching today, I want to go into the basics of what is that how I can help you achieve those dreams, goals, achievements, and so on. So, as you can see, I'm saying all this because sometimes people have this vision of what is that they want, and they haven't labeled it because sometimes it's just a dream, sometimes it's ambition, sometimes it's a Pinterest board. Like sometimes you don't even know exactly what it is, but it's like something up there. Sometimes it's very defined, and it's actually a goal. You have gone through the framework of goal, of creating a goal for that vision that you have for yourself. Sometimes it's a combination of these things that I'm mentioning. But I want you to think kind of like if I would have a picture here. The dreams are dreams, goals, desires are up here. Okay. And you know that in order to achieve those results, right? In order to achieve that goal, to achieve the desire, something needs to happen. So something needs to, you need to take action You need to do things. You need to take a series of actions, a series of plans, implement. Therefore, you're gonna get those results. You're gonna achieve those goals. So that's the basics, right? And what I'm going to be working deeply and through this power hours and in the information I share with you, it's the next level, which is the behind our actions. So I recently went through NLP certification. This is neuro linguistic programming. And for a while, I've known about these tools. I somewhat use them. A lot of people that helps or works with mindset work use this tool. So maybe what I'm saying it's not new, but I want you to approach this with a new student, with a fresh eyes perspective to what I'm saying today. So behind what we do, there is the um, the why we do it, right? We have belief systems, we have value systems, we have drivers, right, that are really fueling the actions. So a good example would be like, oh, if I go on a amazing trip to Europe for 2 weeks, say that, um, it really what drove me to book the ticket, that drove me to create an itinerary, like what it drove me to do that, it was a desire of adventure, right? And that is something that I value, right? That's why I'm willing to do it. That's why I'm willing to spend my money, my energy, my if you're going with friends, even go through conversations to plan this, through the planning, because I desire that. And I know I deserve it. Maybe it's important for me to go out and explore the world. But if I would have a different driver, if I wouldn't really think that going to Europe for 2 weeks, it's something important, I wouldn't do it, right? And you can say that for pretty much everything we do. We all do have different ways to approach an action. So it's really what I think about, what I believe in, what I value that I'm going to be speaking through. And I think this is key for you to achieve your goals, your transformations, your desires, your dreams. And moving on with this information, I want to go to again the basics. So how we think, how we make sense of the world is based on our conscious and subconscious mind. So imagine you have a pie chart and that is 100%. So about 5% about it, very slim uh, pie slice. It's really the actions we take consciously. It's really what we drive, like we logically process, make sense, and do. Then the rest, which is 95% approximately, so the big majority of that pie chart is unconscious decisions. So I want you to imagine the simple task of going to work. So this is what task is. Leave your house, get to work, get to the office. So in reality, this is a very simple task and you're like, oh, I can do that in automatic. But in reality, if you look this as the example of the pie chart, it takes 95% of effort. It's already automatic, which is open the door, put one foot in, put the next foot in, the next and the next. And then when you get to the car, get the keys out, maybe click, maybe put the key in if you still have a key. I still have a car that have a key. Back or keep driving, right? Follow all the traffic signals. And all this is stuff that you're actually doing, but it's not conscious, right? It's unconscious, it's automatic because you already went through so much training, you repeated this so much that it's not a conscious effort that you're doing. It's unconscious, it's just automatic. So in the same way that this simple task require really just a little bit of conscious decision. Maybe you saw there was an accident a mile ahead, so you're like, "Oop, alert, there's a change in the normal pattern. Let me make a decision. Either I stay here and wait 10 minutes while the traffic is bottlenecked, or do I take another route?" Maybe. Or maybe someone came and cut you off. And that's an interesting thing, because even though somebody can cut you off, if you have 10 different drivers going through the situation, you will have 10 different reactions. So, as you can see, out of this simple task of leaving your house, driving to the office, the way you go about it, it's unique about you. And neither way is right or wrong, it's just your way. But in the same way, we think about achieving our goals, our dreams, our desires. There are things that come easily and natural to you, and there are things that stop you from going, and so on. So with this same concept, I want you to think about really 95% of your day to day, of your awareness. Actually, you're unaware of what's running the show, and it really takes time and space to look this in the eye, to look this as it is. Oh, this are the things that are driving me or not driving me. So when we talk about really um, uh, achieving a goal, a desire, um, sometimes that's all it takes, to go through a couple of sessions or go through a couple of realizations and be like, oh, I realized that every time I talked with my husband and I was feeling unsupported and so on, I had this belief, this thought that he was not caring about me. That's our hard realization, right? And it's not easy to say out loud at all. But the moment you see this, you're like, oh, I know consciously that's not it. But somehow, subconsciously, I was thinking that. And that has happened to me where I realized that, oh, actually, that doesn't make sense. Let me just go different about it. So the next time that it happens, I just act differently, because I know, oh, logically, I'm thinking that I'm being attacked, but I'm not. I'm just being, um, for some reason, right? So I was able to change this way of acting, this acting different. But let's say I don't know this, and I somehow running the show, I see, and I keep uh going at each conflict or argument with someone I care about, calling my husband, my boss, my client. I go with this in the background and I'm not aware of it. It's just it's just it's going to have a different result versus if I know it. I'm not saying either way is better or worse. I'm really here not to judge how is that you are going about your life, but I'm here to help you realize the way you think and drive, and what drives you, it's going to shape the way you act, and that is going to shape how what results you get or not get. Exactly. So I want you to think about this. And really the key to achieve what you haven't achieved, to get to where you're not there yet, is by changing the subconscious, the unconscious mind. Like I said, sometimes it's a fast process of just realizing, oh, this is what I was thinking. Oh, this is what I was believing. And sometimes it's like, oh, this is what I believe it, but actually I do believe it. And I find a lot of resistance to change it. And for these both scenarios, there are tools and so on. But the key is to be aware. There are things that I'm not being aware and conscious about. Actually, I'm being unconscious about it. So if I want to achieve different things, then I need to tackle this deeper layer. And that's what I'm going to be sharing about. I need to I need you to be very clear that through this power sessions, that's what exactly where we're going to be talking about how to go about this. And every time we interact, I want you to feel with the comfort to really, if something is not making sense, this is one of the first videos that I'm making, to reach out and ask me, and maybe in the next video I can go about it better. I'm not a great video person. So this is really coming as I'm thinking about it, as like, how can I make this digestible for you? But yeah, let me know if there's any way I can go about this, or answer any questions you have, because this is I think as we are analytical minds, sometimes we put a lot of power in the 5% of the pie chart, because it had gotten us where we are today, right? That smart, intelligent, analytical mind truly has served us well, but something about it, like it can be so good, but at some point we realize, oh, this is actually stopping me. And again, there's no right or wrong, but really, if you want different, it's good to explore what's out there that is different. And going back to the stories, I want you to think that, okay, if my unconscious mind, it's really what can be the key for me to evolve into the next version of me. I want to speak to that. So this is the teaching I want to have for today, but now I want to move into the workshop activity. And I want you to, as we talk about, okay, this is how the mind works. This is how maybe you were aware or not that this is how you acted and reacted. There's so much study of the mind, and to back up this with evidence. But now I want to go into the I want to say opposite. As an analytical mind, sometimes we do need a lot of evidence to move forward, but I want to move into this new version. I want to invite you to step into what it's not here, but there's so much potential to reach. And I want to call this next section, I am already her. And by her, I mean as I am already this version of myself, in this case of yourself, that she has achieved the dreams, desires, goals, what we truly put up, like this something we desire to create. There are parts and pieces inside of me, and I want to create time and space for her to come up and be a little bit more real. So this is not very logical. This is not very real, because it's in our imaginations for now. But I want you to think about how many things have been in your imagination before and you created. How many things were truly a pipe dream, and then it went into a goal, and then it went into a plan, and then it went into actual you being here. So in the same way, I want to take baby steps, step by step. But today's session, it's to really give space to her or him. If you're a someone that identifies as a him, what him, that version of yourself that it's in the future, that has achieved the goals, dreams, ambition, desire that you have. How who is that person? Because it's gonna be different. It's gonna have different, like if you think about, okay, this is who I am right now, and this is who is gonna be, they're just gonna be different. And I love to think about the fact that it's actually is an evolution. Neither version A or version B is different. I mean, it's better or worse. I'm never gonna think that me 5 years ago was a worse version of myself. Not at all. It was just different. I knew different things. I was in a different developmental phase in my career. I was in a different situation. I had no children. I was not married. So, of course, I was just different. And now I'm an evolution of that, right? So, version A, version B. But today, I want you to think that version B, it's truly what is next for you, because something inside of you wants that. So the activity, let me look for it. It's that I am already her. So I want you to think about her that already achieved the dream, that already has the routines, already took the action. Who is she? And I want you to think, how is she showing up to life? And like I said, it's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. Okay, I found it. So I want you to think about this. And my invitation would be that if, as soon as you listen to this, do something about it. That can be maybe record a voice note answering these questions, three simple questions. Just make that one more step, right? Like this small but powerful step can be the one step closer to achieving that goal and dream and desires for you. You can record it. You can call someone and tell, like, share this. You can write it down in the comments. You can send me an email and share this with me. Or you just do that next tangible thing that preserves this inspiration and vision that you had for yourself. So if I were already her, and again, her is this version of yourself that is the evolution. It's closer, probably already surpassed the dreams and desires and things that you want for yourself. But it's not here. It's there in the future or there. um, if I were already her, what would I feel? And by feel, I mean about that internal energy that moves you through the day, right? Um, for myself, I know that I would definitely feel more on fire. I would feel more motivated. I would feel like such a discipline with my, like, such a commitment to my goals, right? I think that's how I would feel. So I want you to think about it. How would I feel if I were already her? If I were already her, that's the next question. What would I choose to do? So this is more to the doing. What would I be doing throughout my day? What would I not be doing throughout my day? Would I be reacting to someone having an urgency at work? Depending, right? Depends. Like each person can react so different or act differently. Actually, that would be my if I were already here, I will act. I will have very clear what are my priorities are, what is my workload, what is my time too, right? I have a little girl that I need to take care. Like I have a dedicated time to work and my business. So if it's outside of those times, I'm not gonna take time out of my kid to answer that, or like it's just so many answers. But I think she will feel so confident about whatever decision she make. If I think about her, the future version of that. And if that's my second question. And then the third one is, if I were already her, what would I do today? What would I do and not do? And I think I mixed the last question with choose and do today, because also I wanted to think about choosing as she is empowered to choose. A lot of the times we think that that subconscious, it's not, cannot change, cannot evolve, and that's not necessarily true. I know from NLP and other modalities that I'll be talking to you about, that we have absolute decision on how to act to a problem. And what I was thinking when I was writing this activity for today is what I will choose to do when I have an issue. Right now, sometimes I go and hide. Sometimes nowadays I feel frustrated and anxious, and I'm not saying that's wrong. That's a normal human reaction, but I think the way she will choose to com- go about this is she will, yeah, feel the feeling, feel the emotion, but then be very brave and be like, okay, but this is my next decision and this is what I'm gonna do. She's very certain, and she says she's certain herself. That's what I think she will do. And even though I get to practice this in bits and pieces, I'm not entirely there, but I know I'm getting closer. So for you, I invite you to answer these three questions. And again, this is not your imagination. Maybe sometimes she comes out and hangs out with a group of friends, or maybe she hangs out with your partner or with your girlfriend or with your family at work, but she's not there 100% of the time. That's okay. That's actually you're walking towards it. But I want you to create more, give her more air to breathe. I like to say that, because sometimes it's just like a pipe dream, right? But the more you make it real, the more you give it feelings and decisions and things, the more you get closer to becoming that next evolution of yourself to do that. And that's everything I have for today. So again, I would love to hear what is that you got from today's teaching and workshopping. And I want you to truly put it to practice. You got this. And if you would like to see anything more specific, any questions, reach out. Thank you so much for being here. And if you want to be in the loop of more what's coming, what are the next power hours about, send me an email, send me a message, and I will share with you how you can register for this on a weekly basis. I want to have this. I want to support you again in every step of the way to until you create success. And I am a big proponent that you do it in your own way. So I'm going to be challenge you to really think deeply that when you want something, is it because you want it or because you have to, because you should to? There's a big difference. And actually how you go about that goal, it has a big influence on that too. I'm not saying that because you want it from your heart, it's not going to be hard. Sometimes because the growth that it requires, of course, you come with a lot of challenges. Of course, if you take into a new responsibility, it comes with fears. That's not a problem. But also if it's not truly what your heart wants, if it's not truly what it's coming from you, it's just what somebody else told you you should, and it doesn't feel real, then it's going to be way harder. And I'm here to make your life more efficient, work smarter and harder, and I'm going to give you everything you need. And you feel like if you already know you need something, come, let me know. We can work into sharing that with the community. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.